Hey guys, welcome to Hughes History. We're doing World History Edition. That's right guys, this time it's a major world religion that's going to be on the exam. You need to know it, and that's Hinduism. A little bit about its history, a little bit about its beliefs, a little bit about the giddy up for the learning that we're going to go get her done right now. All right, guys, let's get started with the very basics, and I mean the very basics. Like I'm literally taking an historical stone and skipping it across the water of knowledge here. We'll say three things before we get started into really a set of principles. Number one, it's the oldest known practicing religion known to human beings. Hinduism goes back probably around 6,000 years to about 4,000 BCE. The Harappan culture or the Indus River Valley civilization is where we think that the roots are going to be formed. And although we haven't interpreted their writing, we know through archaeology that many of the customs and practices that they did way back then in the day, we're still doing today in India and amongst Hindus. We also know that around 1500 BCE, don't quote me exactly, that people from the north known as Aryans came through the passes in the mountains. They came from the steppes which are north of the Caucasus Mountains between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea, and they brought their own ways of knowing and knowledge and religious practices that kind of fused with the indigenous people that formed the roots of Hinduism. We'll also say that it's the least dogmatic religion. There's not one way of being in Hindu. In fact, there's no leader. If someone comes down and says, take me to the Hindu leader, I don't know where to take them. It's not like we have Christ in Christianity or Buddha in Buddhism or Muhammad in Islam. There is no one man in Hinduism. So I got 6 beliefs on the table, and I'm going to serve them to you right now. So I hope you're hungry for a little bit of the learning. 6 principles, guys. The first one, quite simple. Truth is eternal. That truth is one. There might be many different pathways to truth. Some Hindus might take the pathway of devotion or of knowledge or of duty, but they're all seeking that one reality, that one truth that transcends even Hinduism itself. Their second core belief is that there is one God. They're not really polytheistic. We can kind of understand why some people might say that in a second, but they do believe that there is one world soul called Brahman, and that out of that one world soul, there's manifestations through other gods and goddesses. Brahma is the creator. Vishnu is the protector, and Shiva is the destroyer. And there's many other mother goddesses and goddesses that individual Hindus can decide to follow and to pray to. But they all believe that all of those gods and goddesses are extensions of this one world soul. So while some people might say that Hinduism is polytheistic, it really isn't. It might not also be monotheistic. It's probably another word for it. You could put that down in the comments below. Another major kind of formation principle is they all believe or follow the Vedas. Now there are 4 books of knowledge that are called the Vedas, but if we go back thousands of years, the Vedas weren't written down. They were memorized. They were hymns and prayers and rituals. Around 400, 500 BCE, much of that began to be written down, and that forms these stories and poems and hymns, the foundational beliefs of Hindus and how they practice their religion. But some Hindus follow some Vedas more than other Hindus follow other Vedas. So again, it's not dogmatic. There's a lot of room for different beliefs and interpretations amongst the Vedas themselves. Now here comes the first big vocabulary word to sink your teeth in, and that is dharma. All Hindus believe that their job on earth is to find their dharma and do it. There's not really one word that translates into dharma, but it's really this belief that there is a way of living your life according to your path of truth, authenticity, honesty, virtue, that's your dharma, which brings us into the next belief system, and I'm going to come back to dharma, which is that all souls are immortal. All souls are immortal. Hindus believe that we all have Atman, and that Atman is our connection to the universe, our soul, the God inside of us. And this is connected in a way through the interconnectedness of the universe with Brahman, the one world soul. And finding this connection through our dharma, our path, and knowing that our karma, there's another vocabulary word, our good deeds and our bad deeds influence the path that we must follow. All Hindus believe in reincarnation. They believe that the Atman, which is lifeless and universal and forever, transcends the body. This is called transmigration, that when you die, when your body becomes the carcass that it is and dies, that the soul leaves the carcass and transmigrates to another body, that they believe in reincarnation, and that their karma, what they did on earth in that body, is going to affect what dharma they have the next life, the way they need to live that life, and that their karma determines who they're going to be born as, who their parents are going to be, whether they're going to be poor or they're going to be rich. So that actually connects to something called the caste system. And now there's modern Hinduism where they don't really believe in a strict caste system, but the foundational principle of Hinduism was that you were born into the caste according to your karma, and that your dharma was dictated by the person that you were born into. Now if you look at the chart right there, you could see the caste system. You can see that is hierarchical, that on top of the caste system, on the tippy top point, we have the Brahmins. The Brahmins are the ones closest to the eternal truth. They are the priests of Hindu society. We have the Kshatriyas. These are the warriors, the kings. Below them, we have the merchants and the landowners. These are the Vishnya. And all of three of these groups were said to be the closest to completing their cycles of reincarnation. Below them, we have the peasants, the laborers. These are the Sudra. And then we even have a group that's outside of the caste system. These are the untouchables, the people that dealt with human waste or cleaning toilet bowls, people that were seen as not being part of the caste system at all. Now we can see in a representation of their god Brahman that there's a connection between the different parts of their god and the caste that you were born into. Now the next part of Hinduism that is important to understand is moksha, the search for this eternal truth. Following your dharma will eventually liberate your soul from this constant cycle of reincarnation. And it was thought that if you followed your path of duty, your path of knowledge, your path of devotion, that eventually you could reach moksha and your soul would be free from the misery, the pain that is known on human earth. That's the whole idea of Hinduism, is follow your dharma, which is dictated by your karma, so you can achieve moksha and free your soul from earth to be connected with the one, with the eternal. Now certainly Hinduism is practiced in many different forms. Much of it sometimes is a family tradition. Other times Hindus seek out their own personal path, and there's lots of different ways to practice that. Now of course there's other commonalities in Hinduism itself. They believe that the rivers of the Ganges are sacred. They cleanse their souls by bathing in it. They're all supposed to make a pilgrimage to the Ganges eventually in their lifetime. There's also a tradition of fire altars, of burning offerings, of having temples in your own home. There's also a belief in sages, that there are people that were born with this eternal truth and it's their job to teach other Hindus about this eternal truth. But that's probably the basics enough for you. If you understand reincarnation, if you understand moksha, if you understand dharma and karma, you probably got enough to pass the test. How about that? I'm not sure about the test of life, but enough to pass the test. All right, guys, we'll see you guys next time that you press my buttons. I want to give a quick shout out to my Hughes heroes who have made humongous donations online. Quinn Eaton, Dr. Chume Yang, and if you haven't checked it out, teachers, check out studentsofhistory.org. Mr. Luke Rosa, a seasoned professional social studies teacher, has put together all of the resources that he's used to make his classroom student-centered, engaging, and diverse. And you can go check that out online right now and see if that's for you. That's studentsofhistory.org. But again, all of my Hughes heroes, you truly are my heroes. Thank you, thank you, thank you.